And as promised, wanted to show you how easily we can get set up on ShowMe. So I'll give you an example of how we added the Jasper context to ShowMe, and we can quickly use ShowMe directly on the product. So the first thing that we did is to create a ShowMe, which we use to add the URL of the business, the documentation, define which languages we were going to use, which for the sake of just this example, we just added English, and then the documentation itself, right? So what we did is we extracted your article, your knowledge base, and we condensed it into sort of a polished version. We can add all sorts of files, so think of videos, think of articles. We can also crawl, a website specific URL. We can also, so we just added the record mode, which is basically the ability for us to record ourselves directly in the product. This is meant for, enhancement of experience, right? So if we see that there's things missing, ShowMe lacks context, or there's gaps in the documentation, we can quickly, instead of writing a whole new article, we can quickly share the context with ShowMe, which is part of the initial training to get it up and running. You'll see in the Jasper experience, but we have the ability to create what we call push notifications, but see them as product nudges. So the ability to push specific workflows to users, but I'll share a little bit more on the product side here. So switching gears, you'll notice our widget. This is out of the box. This is, there's a lot we can do here as far as customization. We can embed it in the contact support button. We can, put it somewhere else. It can also be progressive based on URL or where the user lies, or even get, user information and push this to specific users that are tiered. Let's say your smaller deals, or new users from self-serve experience can see this and others won't. But for the sake of this example, I just left it here where it comes out straight out of the box. I also created a nudge to give you an example. This could be anywhere else in the product, by the way. This could be hovering above or below Jasper IQ if you want to showcase this a little bit more to your users. But this can also be a welcome message, right? So go through a full onboarding of all the features of Jasper. For this one, I just added create a campaign, which I'll show you in two examples. The first one is me asking in a more of a support or pull way, so waiting for the users to ask questions. The other one is create a campaign, which is a push flow that is already predetermined thanks to a prompt in the back end. So I'll go through the classic way of just asking the question, how do I get going here, to give you an example of how this flow happens.
Welcome back. How can I assist you today with Jasper?
Hey, how do I create a campaign?
To create a campaign, you'll need to start a new project. First, click on the projects link in the left-hand navigation menu. Great! Now that you're on the projects page, click the new project button to start a new campaign.
Okay, which one do I choose between create a canvas and create a grid? What's the difference?
A canvas is for creating individual text documents, while a grid is a spreadsheet-inspired interface for automating and scaling content production, ideal for large-scale campaigns. Which one sounds more like what you need for your campaign?
Yeah, I think I need the canvas, so I'll go ahead and click that.
Excellent. You've successfully created a new canvas. You can now start generating content for your campaign.
Okay, so I'll just stop there. This is a good example of ShowMe's utilization. I can then use this in a more dynamic way, so I can close it and reopen it if I need clarification. I could have gone through the whole flow and asked additional question here, for example. If I want to validate how I add my website information for context, to give context to Jasper, I could just simply reopen.
Welcome back. How can I assist you today with Jasper?
Yeah, I'm creating a campaign here. How do I add my website as context?
To add your website as context, you'll need to set up your project settings. Click on the Set Up Project Settings button. Great. Now you're in the project settings. To add your website as context, click the Add Context button.
Okay, and then I just simply add URL, right?
Yes, that's correct. Click Add URL to input your website as context.
Perfect. I got it from here. Thank you. There we go. So good example of how ShowMe can be dynamic in context. So as a reminder, thanks to the DOM cell, we can see the user screen, and therefore that's why the highlights are precise. None of this is coded in the back end. This is a 20-30 minute setup of just prompting in the back end to ensure that the user query matches the LLM responses. But yeah, this is a great example of how we could leverage this directly in Jasper and help your users navigate the first chunk of value creation there. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions.